16th century India was defined by the rapid and aggressive expansion of the Mughal Empire. This historical map of Emperor Akbar's domain shows the vast shaded regions that illustrate the scale of the territories he had absorbed. Akbar deployed a highly effective diplomatic strategy. He offered regional kings a simple trade: surrender your independence, and in return, receive royal titles, immense wealth, and the safety of the empire. The result was the systematic unification of the subcontinent under a single absolute ruler. For any sovereign who refused to submit, this environment was exceptionally dangerous. Yet the region of Mewar remained a stubborn exception. Defended by the elevated stone walls of Chittorgarh Fort, the kingdom maintained a fierce, rugged independence. Its ruler was Maharana Pratap. He was a king whose identity and sense of duty were tied exclusively to his homeland and his honor. Akbar sent Pratap a direct ultimatum: bow to Mughal authority and receive high status and respect within the empire. Pratap's response was uncompromising. He stated clearly that a Rajput would choose death over selling his pride. With that single diplomatic rejection, a regional border dispute escalated into an intense ideological clash between an expansive military force and a king who refused to move. By 1576, Akbar's military response made open warfare inevitable. Pratap positioned his forces at the Haldigati Pass. He used these narrow, rocky cliffs to funnel the much larger Mughal army into a strategic choke point. This panoramic painting captures the ensuing Battle of Haldigati. The valley dissolved into a brutal, chaotic melee of clashing soldiers and horses. Cutting through the center of the enemy lines was Maharana Pratap, riding his distinct blue horse, Chetak. Chetak was a highly trained war horse, essential to providing Pratap with the battlefield mobility he needed to strike effectively. The battle was a grueling trial of tactical endurance, fought in harsh conditions against overwhelming numbers. Amidst the heavy fighting, the battle turned when Chetak sustained a severe, life-threatening injury. This placed Pratap in immediate danger. To preserve Mewar's sovereignty, he needed an emergency extraction. Pushing past his wounds, Chetak executed one final physical feat: leaping across a massive river gorge to deliver the king to safety. Pratap survived the jump, but upon landing, Chetak collapsed and died. Pratap was left to grieve the loss of his truest companion, a bond preserved in this solemn bronze monument. The escape ensured the crown of Mewar remained intact, but the personal cost to Pratap was devastating. Retreating from the conventional battle at Haldigati did not mean Pratap surrendered the war. He initiated a strategic retreat deep into the Ara Valley mountain range, preparing to wage a protracted war of attrition against the Mughals. The exile brought severe physical and economic hardships. To survive in the jungle, the king resorted to eating bread made from coarse, wild grass. He traded the comforts of a royal court for a destitute reality, choosing starvation over bowing to imperial authority. Pratap's endurance showed that as long as he remained in the field, the Mughal conquest of Mewar could never be considered complete. Years of relentless guerrilla tactics and harsh jungle survival slowly bled the occupying Mughal forces. As this map illustrates, Pratap capitalized on their exhaustion, gradually fighting to reclaim his lost territories from the empire. Against steep odds, he successfully won back the majority of his kingdom before his death. His life left behind a legacy of resistance, marking him as one of the few figures who maintained sovereignty when the rest of the subcontinent had largely integrated into the Mughal system. Pratap's story illustrates how the persistent rejection of imperial terms can successfully preserve a kingdom's autonomy, even against a dominant world power.